Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving headfirst into an idea that might feel completely backwards at first. What if that thing that feels like a crushing crisis could actually be a launch pad for something really significant, some new opportunity? It sounds strange, but it's surprisingly true. So many huge businesses, ones you definitely know, were born during recessions, layoffs, even big personal setbacks. It's almost like, I don't know, the universe clears the deck sometimes.
That's exactly it. And that's what we really want to unpack here today. Our mission isn't just to talk about why crisis can spark these opportunities, but crucially, how you can learn to spot them and maybe even, transform that insight into something real for yourself.
Okay, so let's dig into that. Why is it, when everything feels so unstable, ground shifting under our feet, why do new possibilities pop up? It really seems like it should be the opposite, doesn't it? Like instability means things shrink, not grow.
Yeah, and that's a really perceptive point because on the surface, it doesn't quite track, does it? But what's fascinating is, well, when times are stable, predictable, most people, and big companies too, they get kind of rigid. They tend to just, double down on what's already working, maybe tweak it a little. There's just less urgency to find really new solutions because the old ones seem, well, good enough. But a crisis, it doesn't just encourage creativity.
Yeah.
Often it completely blows up old ways of doing things, old business models, how people buy things overnight. Think of it like a sudden massive shift in what people need or what's available, and suddenly being agile, solving problems intensely, finding truly new approaches, that becomes everything.
So the old paths just
Yeah,
kind of evaporate, and that creates an immediate need for something
Yeah.
brand new.
precisely. And
Yeah.
here's the critical part. While lots of people retreat, get sort of paralyzed by the uncertainty, the big established players, they're often stuck with their old systems, huge costs, or they're just terrified of risk. They get slower,
Right.
and that clears the field for nimble newcomers. This sort of collective freeze among the majority. It creates this unique window for anyone willing to actually move forward, to fill those gaps that just appeared. It's like a competitive vacuum that really only opens up when things get shaken up that badly.
Wow, that's a powerful way to look at it. The moment of peak chaos is also the moment of peak potential. And like you said, this isn't just theory. Some huge names, household names, started exactly like this.
Absolutely. I mean, take Airbnb. Launched right smack in the middle of the 2008 financial crisis. People were frankly desperate for ways to make extra cash from what they already had, like a spare room. And at the same time, travelers needed cheaper places to stay. So boom, a solution born directly from that economic mess, that shift in spending.
Right. Born out of necessity on both sides.
Exactly. Or Uber also started during a recession, totally disrupted taxis. It just connected people needing rides with people who could give them, using smartphone tech just as it was taking off. At a time when getting a cab could be, well, a real pain, often inflexible.
So it wasn't just a clever idea. It was a clever idea hitting a new pain point, one made worse or more obvious by the crisis itself.
Precisely. And think even more recently the COVID pandemic. Remember all those small businesses that popped up? Suddenly schools closed, offices went remote, supply chains were a mess. People needed completely new ways to work, learn, connect. So you saw this explosion in online tutoring, virtual events, local delivery, special home office gear, all sorts of things.
Yeah, that was amazing to watch, actually.
It really was. And what all these stories show, again and again, is that some of the biggest, most impactful ideas, they didn't come from perfect timing. They came from imperfect times.
That really does flip the script on how we see tough situations. Okay, but let's get practical. If someone listening right now is going through a crisis or just, navigating really uncertain times, how do you actually spot an opportunity in all that mess? It almost sounds a bit too good to be true, right? That possibility comes from disruption.
It's a fair question. It's definitely a leap from seeing it happen to others to making it happen yourself.
Right.
But there are, I think, 3 pretty actionable steps you can take, and they kind of build on each other. First, you absolutely have to listen to pain points, and I don't just mean general grumbling. Pay really close attention to what people are visibly struggling with. What are they constantly complaining about now? What's frustrating them? What used to work but doesn't anymore? Or what's suddenly hard to get? Those complaints, especially if you hear them a lot, they're often super clear signals of unmet needs just waiting for a solution.
Okay, so the complaints aren't just background noise. They're actually data points.
Exactly, data. Then, step 2, leverage your skills. Once you've spotted those pain points, look inwards. What can you already do? What unique skills, knowledge, maybe even just passions do you have? How could those things you already possess, maybe combined in a new way, actually solve one of those pain points you just heard? You might find you've got exactly what's needed, even if it's not immediately obvious. Like maybe your knack for organizing could streamline a new local delivery thing. Or maybe your teaching experience could pivot to online tutoring for kids stuck at home.
That makes sense. It's matching what you can do with what people suddenly need.
Oh,
Okay, what's the third piece?
the third step, and this one is, I think, really crucial for making it last, is to systemize fast. Don't just try to power through on pure hustle, working harder and harder. That just leads straight to burnout. Instead, even when you're starting small, just testing an idea. Focus on building repeatable systems from the get-go. How can you make this process work over and over again?
Okay.
Yeah, this lets you scale up, grow, without killing yourself. It could be a simple checklist for bringing on a new customer, or a clear method for how you deliver your service or product. Having those systems, even basic ones, means you can replicate success, make improvements, and build something truly sustainable, not just a frantic, one-time effort.
That's incredibly practical. Really shifts the focus from, I guess, feeling like a victim of circumstance to being proactive, intentional. It's about seeing that a crisis doesn't automatically have to crush you. It could actually be the push you need to create something new, something impactful.
Absolutely. It really boils down to a fundamental shift in how you see things, your perspective. So instead of asking, ugh, why is this happening to me? You start asking, okay, what can I build because of this? It's that shift from feeling acted upon to becoming the actor, the creator.
That's a really profound reframe for pretty much any challenge, actually. So here's something to think about as you go about your day. Consider a specific challenge, something you or people around you are facing right now. Could be small, like an everyday annoyance, or maybe a big frustration, or some system that's just obviously broken now. And just brainstorm one small, actionable step, something you could do using skills you already have to start building some kind of solution. Just one small step. You might really surprise yourself with what you could create.